Welcome to Crown Level Confidence with Kalia Janae, the podcast where we empower and inspire you to achieve unstoppable confidence and self-belief. I'm your host, Kalia Janae, a wife, mom, entrepreneur, as well as a certified life coach and motivational speaker with a background in humanities and communication. I'm excited to navigate this transformative journey with you. In each episode, I'll bring you candid conversations, practical tips, and inspiring stories from remarkable women who have conquered many challenges and risen to new heights. Get ready to have your crown straightened as we listen, learn, and laugh together so we can level up. Let's dive in. Hey, y'all. Welcome to this new episode of Crown Level Confidence, where we are leading women worldwide to lower their stress and raise their level of confidence. Y'all, okay. I know I'm always bringing you phenomenal women. Yes, pat on my back. But I have to tell you, okay? I'm going to tell you, I could not be more excited for our featured guest today, okay? This is someone who's known me for many years. We've been friends for a long time. And as life's, I can't say we've been close the entire time, but we've known each other for a very long time and have had lots of life transitions. She's been someone who has just always been there, just very consistent. One of those people who, you know, maybe you haven't talked to in a long time, but every time you catch up, it's like a breath of fresh air. She's always got something positive to say, always has a great outlook. And I just cannot wait to share her with y'all. So, Frances, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for the introduction. That was so nice. Funny, we have been friends for a long time, and it's always easy to just like pick back up if the years have like had us drifting apart. It's like no big deal at all. I love it.
Yeah, so it's great. So let me I know about Frances, but let me tell y'all about Frances, okay? So Frances from the very start quietly collected Condé Naste magazines from the doctor's office, hinting at her innate desire to travel to become a prominent aspect of her life, perhaps even a cornerstone of her career throughout her 20s. Currently, she's wholeheartedly embracing this passion, constantly acquiring new knowledge along her journey and discovering opportunities to make meaningful contributions in the world of travel. Ooh, y'all know I stay on a plane. Okay, plane, a train, an automobile.
Really? Wow, you should write my copy. I'm totally impressed.
Well, you know, everyone deserves to know how great you are, you know. When I put you on, it's going to be the best way.
Thanks.
So, Frances, tell us, you know, gosh, travel, it's so illustrious. But why is travel important to you? What's your connection with travel?
Okay, so I think I'm, in a nice way of saying, nosy. I'm very curious. So
Sure.
First and foremost, I think maybe the neighborhood that I grew up in, there's just a lot of different people. They all spoke different languages, and I was quite nosy. I just wanted to really understand what they were saying and how they live, what they eat, you know, what they do for different holidays.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I grew up in kind of like a lower middle class neighborhood. And even though we didn't really go so many places except for like Los Angeles a couple times a month. Like we were in Los Angeles a lot, but that's still traveling. But my mom always kind of made it a point for us to go to the beach at least once every summer. And that to me was a big deal because it was just away from home. I grew up in Bakersfield and it's hot.
Yeah.
So my goal was to not be there as much as possible. And actually, I would say Bakersfield really fueled my need to just be somewhere far away anytime, was because it's a hot place. There wasn't a lot to do there. It just wasn't super significant to me, although it is significant in this story. So I just really wanted to get away from it. I was really young and I used to complain about the heat. My mom will tell you, I don't like the heat. It's crazy. I travel everywhere and I've gone to like mostly hot places because they tend to be the most affordable.
Sure, but it's temporary, right? Like
yeah, it's temporary and it's beautiful. You learn so much, you know, the learning and the things you get to see and do and people you get to meet far outweigh that. But I always wanted to run away from Bakersfield. I even like thumbed through encyclopedias just to see anywhere.
Yeah.
I'll go anywhere. It's just not here. Good picture, good caption. Okay, I'll read the passage. Okay.
So
I was a strong reader, but you know, I was just still a child. I'm like, I'm gonna check if the picture is good, I'll read it. You know.
Sure. So, all right, y'all, I've had the privilege, okay, to travel vicariously through Francis, like I said, for years now. We're connected on social media. And so I have some insights that y'all don't have. Francis has traveled the world solo, y'all. Like, she'll get on a plane and she'll like peace out and be gone. You're like, are you in the Philippines right now? So tell us, how do you have the confidence to just up and go to these places as a solo traveler?
If you really have the mindset, like that type of curiosity that drives you, nothing is going to hold you back. Ooh. And it was fun going with my family. But like funny stories, my mom, we'd be up just like ready to go to the beach in the morning by like 5 a.m. We're like sitting on top of our suitcases, just ready to go. And my mom gets up and she's like, okay, but I'm going to go to the gym and make breakfast first, and then we're going to clean. So we might not leave the house until about 5 or 6 p.m., arrive to the beach in the night. And like, honestly, when you're going alone, if you put it into this perspective, one, nothing is going to stop me. That's the highest point. Two, no one is telling me, like, I'm not responsible for anyone but myself. So I don't have to worry about who's not up, who doesn't have stuff. I do worry about my house clean before I go. There are things that I do, but no, I want to go. And when I do go, I honestly, though my business is to plan travel for people, I don't plan that much for myself. Generally, I think I do now more than I'm a travel agent. But when I first started going, I was like, I'm going to go and maybe know how to leave the airport and get to my hotel. I'm going to know like how to get around. I'm of course going to look at like, what do people eat and what do people do? I want to know that. And where I'm staying, I'm going to know like emergency phone numbers in the area. Where's the embassy? But to be quite honest, I've tried to follow itineraries I've made for myself and I just never truly have. I've canceled places last minute because I just kind of go with the flow, I guess. I consider myself a lazy traveler. I always say that, slow traveler, because I will go and be somewhere. Like when I went to Malaysia, I think I was in Kuala Lumpur for almost 2 months. I rarely left Kuala Lumpur, but I just got really comfortable. I found like a few favorite coffee shops I like to go to, a few favorite food places that I love to go to. And I kind of, by being the lazy, slow solo traveler, I have to really put myself out there. And I like to spend time with local people. And I kind of feel a little bit like an expat, at least when I'm having that slow, lazy travel. I get to like lay around and like hang out at coffee shops all day in different neighborhoods. I end up at like people's family holiday parties, and it just sort of actually feels like I'm at home. You know, it has its like element of danger, but also I feel like my senses are all on when I'm traveling because I've been into sticky situations. And like I said, I'm only responsible for myself. So I have to, like, the only gut I can have to trust or opinion is mine. So I just have to roll with it. And actually, it's worked so far. I'm alive.
Yeah.
Tell the story, and it's very exciting. It's so exhilarating. It's very much, you learn so much about yourself, and I've learned so much about myself. It's crazy.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to ask you, because not that we need a play-by-play, you know, it's not that kind of show. We don't have that kind of time. But this really quick, like high level, you know, what has that experience, or having developed that ability, right? Like, I agree, as a mindset coach and professional communicator, a made up mind is the first step to really any decision-making process. So I'm so glad you said that. But in terms of your personal journey and what that's been like for you, traveling the world as a young adult and like now, you know, into womanhood, what are some of those lessons, or maybe just one or two, that you can share as to how you've been able to get to know yourself and grow while you're all over the world?
I think the first thing it taught me was that like I've always been travel obsessed. I could label countries, capitals, rivers, this, and read blog after blog and book after book. You get there, and no matter how much you've researched, you know nothing. Like just because you know how to get around and take a taxi from the airport, I mean, it feels good to just be that confident to just go and not be like, oh no. But honestly, you know nothing. I went and my first international trip was to Italy, and I didn't actually do a lot of research besides what I kind of the dreamy picture of Italy, Dan Brown novels. But I mean, I'm like, yeah. But I was staying actually with another student from CSUMB studying abroad there, and there were some really neat little things that I learned there, and I was so in awe. But I think Taiwan was really the place where I realized that I just don't know Jack, I was living there. So it wasn't just a tourist experience. It was like, I have to make everyday life for myself and be productive here and understand the work culture, really get to know the locals. I did a lot of that, and I learned a lot about like where I was at mentally and emotionally just as an adult coming from college or something, graduate, and then you put yourself in a situation like this and you're like, oh no. I feel this. So college is not the real world.
Right.
It's one step. It's a part of it. But honestly, I learned, I was teaching kids and I worked with kids for so long. And that's where I learned that I hit my wall. I think I had to suck it up and accept the fact that I wanted to teach and I wanted to travel, but I think I wanted to travel more. And in a job like that, the kids don't really deserve for you to just come and go, because a lot of English teachers do that. And once these kids get like familiar with you, they learn to love you, and then you're just gone when your contract is up. And that's something that really set in while I was there when I was having a hard time. I was working with a lot of young kids. I had a preschool class, and it was supposed to be just ages 4, and ages were like 2 to 6. And at one point I had about 28 students in my class. I did have assistants, but you can imagine like it fluctuated a lot at the early start of the year when parents are like getting a feel for the program. So by the end there was about 17 kids, but it was crazy for a while. And I started to feel where I was for a person, maybe that I'm just not like made for that particular job anymore, because maybe not at that time, at least, I just had a lot of personal growth to do, and being in a position where it is not about you, it's about those kids, and you realize you're just drained. Like your mind is just like, oh my gosh, you wake up every day and it's just, it got to be a point where I was like, oh, I'm not really doing, so I have to do better at putting them first. When my mind is like, I want to go here and there, I want to travel, and I want to do this. That's the part where I just totally, it hit me like, you know, you're not just here to travel. You're a part of these kids' lives, and they're like imprinting on you in a way. Yeah. You're in a big place in their life. They're meeting a foreigner, a lot of them for the first time, culture things just in so many ways. And, it was a weird pivotal point in my life, because actually I think I heard Lady Gaga say it one time that she was on a talk show, and she said how like when your trauma actually comes back for you, it's like Pandora's box opening. And so the way the work culture is there, it actually did open up that. So that's why I was like, oh man, like the kids need me and I actually need myself. And this is a new stage for me. And I just, I finished my year off, and things did get so much better. Like I learned better classroom management. I bonded so much with my kids, but even at the end of the year, I knew, girl, you gotta like deal with you and don't do that. It's a big hard lesson.
That is the whole episode. Deal with you and don't do that.
I don't learn that.
Yeah. No, but that's so huge. Yeah. And I'm so grateful for you to share that experience, because a lot of times women, we get into a position, right? Because we said that's what we're going to do. And then we do that. And a lot of people will get like, they'll get the job or they'll start their career and it's not what they thought it would be, or they're not how they thought they would be, but they stay in it because that's what they told everyone they were going to do, right? That was the expectation. That was what the buildup, that was the sacrifice, all of the external factors that lead us down this path of suffering internally. And so I'm so grateful that you have that. Not only did you have the revelation, because some people are still kind of sleepwalking, I feel like, but you did something when the lights came on, right? And you said, okay, I'm going to continue my obligation, my contractual obligation. I'm a person of integrity. I have good character. Yeah. But then once that has expired, I now need to move on to the next thing. And that can be scary, right? You're on the other side of the world.
And you said it perfectly. Like, either it's not what you thought it would be, or I'm not what I thought it would not what I thought I would be. I thought I would like have it down. Yeah. I didn't. I got into it eventually, and I'm really glad I stuck with it. But like I had heard a lot about like the work culture there, and we did some training. So it was a shock to me. What was more of a shock to me was how I handled it. And I wish I would have handled it better. But I guess if I am where I am now and had to, that's what the lesson is for. You thought wrong.
and you don't know until you grow, right?
You don't.
Yeah, you don't exactly. Know. So you can think all day long, oh yeah, I would do that, or even just hypothesizing just different situations. Oh, I would never. I stopped with that, okay? Because you don't know until you're put in a situation. And so like I said, I'm grateful that you were able to have the experience to live to tell the tale, right? Because someone right now is listening and they're like, man, yeah, I need to pivot. I need to switch this up. It's not working. And you have to do something about it before it's too late, but just before things get worse beyond being able to fix it, or fix it quickly. Sometimes we drown and then we start sinking lower and lower and lower and lower, and then it takes that much more effort to come out of the hole.
Yeah.
And I did the ocean,
Yeah, I definitely dug it a little deeper too. Like I told myself, okay, no more teaching, you need to work on you. But then I wanted to travel so bad, I actually went and taught in China again, and was not funny, but just ironically COVID happened, so I didn't get much teaching in, but it definitely gave me a lot of time to think there. Got a lot of quiet time and time with Francis to sort it out. But I mean, again, that part happening in another part of the world, I don't think there's anything like it. Everyone was like, oh my gosh. And actually, I get quite comfortable in other countries, whether it's quite intense that I stick out or not. I think I've always kind of like stuck out or felt like a little bit like,
I'm here.
Don't fit in here or there. So actually, when you're around the world, you stick out like a sore thumb and you're in some weird experience, you're like, oh, at least I'm not home or something. Like, I'm supposed to be out here. It's supposed to be odd. It's supposed to be awkward, know.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, wow. We never have enough time to have the full conversations we want to have on this show. And it's bittersweet because she just skipped over the fact that she was in China before COVID. So, I mean, that's a whole other, we could talk forever, but just really quickly, because we are coming to a close pretty shortly. When it comes to travel and how you are with your clients, like I said, really briefly, can you share how you're using your business and your expertise and leveraging that, into service?
All right. So it's a long process. I have like these tiered goals, right? Like I have the big ultimate goal, and then I have one that's a little bit closer. And I'm wanting right now just to use my travel business to get groups of people going to destinations they've probably wanted to go and haven't seen themselves in, or reach out to groups. I'm in San Diego County, so actually next year I'll be planning a group for actually a Facebook group. It's a cultural group, and everyone was like, everyone goes to Jamaica and everything, and we go to the Bahamas and even back to Ghana, but like people were saying, I want to go to Japan. So it's like great, because now I can get into my cultural groups and I can like bring everyone with me, and we can have that experience together. And people who don't know how to like reach out and service their communities, but want to plan something like this, reach out to me. So I love that I get to be like a part of it, whether it's me planning the group or me with someone who's got the idea like, oh, I want to take people on like a back to Africa trip and they want to go to West Africa. I'm planning that for later next year. And it's really exciting because West Africa and all its countries are coming up. They're definitely coming up in destinations. And when everyone wants to go to like Rome and Bali, I'm really excited that it's now West Africa because there's so many neat things to see and do and learn there. And I'd also like to eventually get some sort of program where I can actually maybe send students there, like a group of students. When I was in school, everyone was selling chocolates to go to Paris and stuff. And I'm like, I actually would love to see like young school kids, fairly young, junior high or high school, maybe even with their parents, actually take like a big group trip or have a culture club, a travel club. I would love to be, that chaperone there, something like that. And in the very, very long run, I'm actually an animal lover. That's what I started doing in school before I switched to the humanities. So it's been my ultimate goal to have a sanctuary. And I've always wanted to settle down abroad. So I have even bigger goals than that. But what I want is for people to come and like not only visit the animals, but I really actually want to run a space where people can get maybe more so for digital nomads or something. I'm still playing with that idea, but I would love to run something like a B&B or be able to have that experience. I have a billion ideas. It's not set in anything yet, but those are the tiers. Like I'm planning for people at this moment who have reached out to me for trips that mean a lot to them. Mm-hmm. Also, that's I want to give back to the community by trying to help everyone. And it's not just we're going to West Africa. We're doing paperwork. We're getting passports. That's a lot of work. Everyone hates to go through the paperwork. I hate to go to the paperwork, but I know how to do it. So I want to be there for people and let them know like this is attainable. Documents can be a thing. We can raise the money. Maybe one day I'll be in a position to actually truly benefit, give financially so that people can, and it's not so much of a big ordeal to have to raise the money or anything. So I'm still in the process of planning all these things, but right now I'm happy to say that I've actually got to the tier of planning these special, meaningful trips for people and then throwing some trips of my own just to connect people. I love that. I like connecting people, and I really like to see the reaction or like hear about their experience and how they're wowed, because some people that I've sent traveling haven't actually been out of the country before and left the responsibility and the trust with me to plan a good experience with them. And I love hearing that. So
that's awesome. Y'all, Frances is over here trying to expand your horizons, okay? Get you some extra stamps. If you don't have a book, she'll help you figure out how to get your own passport book. But ultimately, this whole project, this whole podcast, where the conversation we're having, right, it all stems from your confidence, right? Knowing who you are when you travel, and it's also been my personal experience when you leave your current surroundings. So let's be clear that you do not have to leave your country in order to have a travel experience, right? So, but when you do step outside of your normal surroundings, maybe go to a new city, a new state, a new, territory, you grow, you learn, oh, I like this food, I don't like this food, or, just I want to do something different. And you challenge yourself. You have new conversation with yourself. And in those ways that you grow and get to know yourself better, your confidence raises. When you return back to your community, you've got something to contribute. You've got something to share, an experience that you've had. So, don't turn your nose up. Don't shy away from opportunities to travel.
I always tell people, like, a lot of people think of travel and like this big thing. And I'm not going to lie, like Jay-Z's Big Pimpin' video, like that was my video. And I was like, and I wasn't looking at like the Big Pimpin'. I was like, that water, that beach, this boat, I want that. But if you travel local, COVID has had to show me that. Like I had to come back from China to San Diego County, and I've been working and staying at home and then just going to and from work so much. I'm actually barely traveling out to greater San Diego. And like, I'll get on a plane and go to another country before I think you could just travel locally. You could like start exploring all these businesses. Like, I've started to actually research all the animal rescue businesses in the area. And there's so many, from like reptiles to different birds. And then you get further down into San Diego, there's the botanical gardens, there's just a billion things, and we're by the beach. So I actually, I've had to actually teach myself, scale it down a bit. You don't have to get on a plane. You can get on the Sprinter and you can just go to the coast. You can go to a different little zip code for a day, and there's just a ton going on. So I always encourage people, start small, just go to the next zip code over and hang out at the beach, or see if they've got like really cool organizations, or just something random. I found a lot of really random things that I can do, including kind of bougie things like resort passes, where you can just buy a little ticket to a resort for a day if you want to get away to the beach, go use the pool, bar by the pool. Anything like that to me is just considered travel. Just go somewhere, have a new experience, have a different experience, and work your way up. I've learned a million different ways to travel on any budget. So my goal is to show everyone, regardless of the fact that I plan like luxury travel for people or anything, that it's just putting yourself in a different setting, opening up your mind and taking it all in is enough. Like, I could go to the other side of Escondido right now and be like, what? I'm even learning, like, there's so much going on somewhere where I think is kind of pretty, like, it seems like, your basic place to be, but there's actually really neat little things hidden around. It's just, you got to like scale down what your expectations a bit and do what you can, do what's within your means until you get there, or there's aid,
Yeah, these are lifestyle parallels, Joe. We're talking about traveling, but I'm always going to bring it back, right? I'm your favorite life coach. Let's just be clear. So she said you have to have the right expectations, right? And you make your plan accordingly. And those are two things that will always go hand in hand. That is how you ensure a good experience, right? Because you can't you may not be able to,
you don't know what to
everything
expect.
Go according to your expectations, but when you are in the right frame of mind, you'll be able to make a plan B, or you'll be able to pivot, or you'll be able to, maneuver however you need to do to adjust to your circumstances. But if you're not even prepared for the minimum, then you're already behind. So let's transition. We're at the part of the episode where we're not at the final word, y'all. Can you believe it? We're already here. So, Frances, this is the time where we are wrapping up the episode, right? The cars are parked. They're about to get out of their cars and go to the meeting. They got to go back to work, or they're going to the doctor's appointment. Whatever these ladies are about to do, they're like, okay, I've been waiting for this final word before I turn my car off and get out. What do you want to share? What do you want to leave us with?
I actually would leave you with the idea that travel is a culture for everyone. Every single person. I would say kind of like be here in the now and think about what you can do. Go for it. I would say actually have a bucket list. It seems so cheesy, but do it, because I think there is a good quote that I really like, and I can't even think of it now, but one similar is like a mind stretched by new experiences never goes back to its same dimensions ever. So you really just kind of gotta go with it and understand that you belong everywhere. Like I said, travel is a culture for everyone. Everyone can benefit from it. I think everyone absolutely needs it on no matter what scale it's on. I think it's probably the most you can do for yourself as far as enriching your worldview, learning to understand other people, learning how to kind of let go, learning how to trust yourself, maybe learning how to go alone and be very brave, or maybe you take a trip with like your mom or something. That's like a real challenge. If you don't know, take a trip with someone, learn about yourself. keep your mind open and just be like vulnerable and let the world teach you something. Go with an open mind and an open heart, and it's just for everyone. There isn't like one person, I don't think, who couldn't benefit from travel and truly learn. Just that the world is huge and you're literally like a drop in the ocean. So just go for it any way you can, by any means necessary.
Yeah, awesome, y'all. She said, let me just paraphrase real fast. She said, get up, get out, and get away.
Yep, that's why my business is called Getaway Culture.
Exactly. That was intentional. So I know y'all want more, Frances. I know you have questions about like budget and how to arrange it, and is it more expensive to have a travel agent? I know you have all these questions. So that's why y'all hop over to the Facebook group, Crown Level Confidence Between the Episodes. She is in there and she's waiting to hear from y'all, and just shower her with her affirmations. Tell her how much you appreciate her time, and hit her up for questions and travel. Now listen, one thing about us in our group is we're not time wasters, right? So don't spam her, don't be harassing. I know none of you would do that, but honestly, we are a community here in Crown Level Confidence, and we support one another. So if you know you have a trip on your heart or in the back of your mind or on your bucket list, like Frances said, just reach out to her. She can make it more achievable and more attainable than you even realize. So you can find her in socials, Facebook and TikTok, especially under Getaway Culture. When y'all know, I'll have the links for you on the episode in the description. So just make sure that, like I said, you reach out and you support, because when we support one another, there's nothing we can't do. So Frances, thank you so much for being here as a featured guest and having this conversation, because I know women all over the world need to hear it.
You're welcome. I'm so excited to be here, and I'll pop up on the page and introduce myself and open myself up for questions and whatever. But I was so ecstatic to be here, and I hope a lot of people got something from that. Just go do it. Just do it and try it.
I love it. Awesome. Well, this has been this, and that's that. So stay tuned, y'all, for some announcements, and then have a good week. Hey, Crown Level Confidence listeners, mark your calendars for Saturday, July 20th, 2024, and join us at the next Networking on Purpose event hosted by NOP at Women's Resources, Inc. NOP is dedicated to empowering women entrepreneurs through expert-led workshops, training, and motivational sessions. For more details, visit www.womensresourcesinc.org. Can't wait to see you there. Thank you for tuning into another empowering episode of Crown Level Confidence with Kalia Janae. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation and found it both insightful and inspiring. If you'd like to be a featured guest on the show and share your journey of confidence and self-belief, please reach out to me at podcast@kaliajanae.com. I'm always eager to connect with remarkable individuals who have a story to tell. And for those interested in connecting with me for speaking engagements or mindset coaching, you can find more information on my website, kaliajanae.com. I'd love to hear from you and explore how we can work together to inspire and empower others. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode filled with actionable tips and heartfelt stories. If you enjoyed today's episode, I'd truly appreciate it if you could leave a review on your preferred podcast platform. Your feedback helps us reach more listeners and inspire even more people to straighten their crowns. Remember, your journey to unstoppable confidence is a continuous adventure. I'm happy to support you every step of the way. Keep believing in yourself, keep shining, and always wear your crown with pride. Until next time, this is Kalia Janae, your host, signing off. Stay confident, stay empowered, and keep leveling up.